before we get to the people, we got a lot of Lions callers. That bowl fun segment, ridiculous. We'll get some ticket text, but it's kind of a perfect bridge to show you how broken the sport is. I mean, first of all, the idea that there's 42 bowl games, making 84 teams in this country eligible, is absurd. The average college football fan can't name 50 college football teams, much less 84. Second of all, we've arrived at a place where I said this earlier, I made the joke. Big-time bowl games, like the Orange Bowl, are rendered useless. Orange Bowl.
Yeah.
Georgia versus Florida State. That game combined, prop bet casino, over-under opt-outs in that game, 12.5. I did that for you.
I was about to say probably about 12, Mike.
Okay. And
you've been working with me too.
Yeah, but it brings up a topic you're going to get into later today, which is, now Charlie Baker, the president of the NCAA, has come out with what you always said the NCAA would do, is that once it spiraled out of control, the NCAA would come back.
Yep, here's the lifeboat.
Here's how we'll do this. They're basically advocating for a new subdivision of college football where teams can opt in. The highest resourced teams is the terminology that was used, can opt in, and by putting money in a trust for the players at a minimum of $30,000 a year for every player, that they will create a new level of college football. Now, how many teams would opt in? How many teams can afford to opt in? I don't have those answers. But Rico's going to get into it a little later, but here's where we're headed. These bowls, first of all, these bowls will be loss leaders. It's a hamburger at a bar. Mm-hmm. The bar owner loses money on the hamburger. They make the money on the 2 beers you have while eating the hamburger. These bowls cost schools money. Mm-hmm. Schools don't make money going to this crap. Now, these lesser bowls, players are opting out of those to go get paid by schools in the better games. Mm-hmm. So when Rico brings this up later, just remember that folly we just did, where, by the way, I now have Roberto's haircut. The hairs are falling out of my head.
TheRoof.com.
Right. I mean, Kenny comes on and he's like, the bowl. And I'm like, maybe?
That would have been funny.
Hey, what about the bowl?
It's played in Tucson.
The bowl. I just
Sacramento.
Wow. Right. David, ticket text, then we'll get to the people.
Yeah, someone says, good answer on everything you just did. I have no clue what's going on right now. Okay.
David. I mean, keeping up with what's defunct, what's real, what's fake. I mean, how can any of it be taken seriously when bowl games like the Orange Bowl aren't? I saw Kirby Smart and Mike Norvell. They looked like they were being held against their will to do the conference call, the Zoom, for the Orange Bowl.
Because you can't ask them specifically about, how do you feel about matching up against Brock Bowers? He's probably not going to.
Right.
Like you have to pull out the whole depth chart. Your third string tight end, he hasn't caught anything, but what do you know? What can you tell me about him?
These are now truly the definition of exhibitions. It's the Globetrotters against the Washington Generals. That's all this stuff is.
David, I don't even think you get exhibitions. I just think that you're going to have
7-on-7s.
No, I think it'll be the equivalent of having Georgia and Florida State spring game early.
Good God.
Wow.
David.
Someone says, Rico, you're thinking of maybe the Bad Boy Mowers?
Yes.
That's Joe in Bloomfield?
Yes, thank you, Joe.
I grew up loving that game.
Thank you, Joe.
Grew up. To reward the people for paying high prices. Why not the Walmart Bowl where they're just giving free stuff away to fans? That is Frank in Clinton Township. Someone's saying, let me correct David, the Fenway Bowl is still being played this year. It's sponsored by Wasabi, though. BC and SMU will play in that bowl.
A bowl game year. Brought to you by Wasabi.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what?
Love it.
Probably best.
Well, I knew Avocado I thought they had a bowl game at one point.
They do. The Mexico Bowl or something?
I don't care.
I don't know. Something.
All right. Can I just go to the phones? Mercy.
Sure.
Mercy. Go to Eric, 97.1. What's up, Eric?
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Ready to fire up the Lions fans. You know, in December, if you look at the last couple of seasons, the Lions play good in December. You figure this will be 9-3, and it's 5 games left.
Mm-hmm.
How about if they win all out?
All right, 14-3.
And if they win all out, the other teams that are 9-3, they don't have doubt. I don't know why we keep having doubt in the Lions. We keep hitting about this Chase Young thing and all that. Irwin got in and knocked the quarterback out. They were on the road against a team that had pressure trying to get in front of Atlanta, and Campbell used to work there. For them to go on the road and get a win, hey, we're 9-3. There's no reason to say we just want to win a playoff game. You got just as much chance as anybody else to win this thing. The other 9-3 teams don't have doubt. They feel like winning. Why can't we?
Because sometimes it's like the Eagles. The Eagles sitting there at 10-2, but they are having doubts saying, I don't think that we're the team that we need to be right now. And it's not to say that you've had a bad season. It's just realizing we got some deficiencies here.
But they went to the Super Bowl. If nothing else, they're trying to get back to the Super Bowl. So they have a little, when a team go to a championship, they're different than a team that haven't been there.
Now, I mean, you're just saying that the other teams, like the Phillies sitting there at 10-2 right now. They got the best record in the NFC, and they're not happy with their team. As a matter of fact, they just went out and got Shaq Leonard because they were like, yeah, our defense needs a boost.
They have the Dallas game that they're concerned with, but they went to the Super Bowl. So they should feel a little different than everybody. And to the Lions' credit, Jared Goff has been to a Super Bowl. And don't sleep on Stafford and them. Everybody keeps talking about Green Bay and Minnesota. The Rams are hanging around, too.
Okay.
All right, good talk. I don't. Kenny, that's one.
Sponsored by Bad Boys Mower.
We should start sponsoring calls like some of the bowls. If you don't understand why we're having doubts about the Lions, I don't know. Do you watch the games and look at the defense over the last 5 weeks?
No. See, here's what I think I lost. Eric is super optimistic, and he's
that's
saying,
fine.
No, but he just presented it poorly. He's saying they're going to play their best football in December like they did last year, run the table, 14-3, let's go. They're still up for the first overall, not the first overall pick, number 1 seed.
Here's your problem. You could play San Francisco on the moon, you're not beating them. It's just so abundantly clear you're not at their level. You're not. I don't know what else to say. And it's okay. I'm not mad about it. I want to win the division. I want to win a playoff game. But why do people keep bringing up the Chase Young thing? Because you don't have a pass rush. Because right now, I think you're 28th in pass rush win rate.
So that was just funny. Like the other 9-3 teams aren't worried. Like Philly's in panic mode right now.
Yeah,
they're
well,
10-2.
And they should be because they're kind of a false 9-3 where they escaped a few weeks. The Dallas game, the Kansas City game. I happen to think Dallas will beat them Sunday.
Well, I was about to say, now if Dallas beats them, then that just kind of resets the scale. If you're a Lions fan, you want that because now you're going to have, 4 9-3 teams if the Niners and the Lions each win their games, or 10-3.
Yeah, the topic we had discussed, guys, was just, look, now that Super Bowl hysteria is done and we've kind of recalibrated, are you able to enjoy or accept win division, win playoff game? We let go of the hysteria and the hype and the dream. Are you okay just coming back down to reality and going, you know what, we're still going to have a really good year. And we're still going to accomplish a couple things we haven't done in 30 years. I'd like to think the answer is yes, but sometimes when you dream for more, it can ruin reality. So it was just what we're talking about. I still don't understand Eric's call, but maybe I'm just not with it.
I don't either.
Eric is a very optimistic Lions fan. Eric loves. I was just expecting him to just start hitting me with a chair, but he didn't.
2-4. What? Eric doesn't like you?
No, he just thinks that I'm too negative on the Lions.
No, okay.
No, it's just Eric. He's a cool dude, great caller. He's a super fan, and he just always says I'm too negative.
Well, let me give you an update here on the Lions. They have made a signing. They have agreed to terms with Tyson. I think you pronounce his name Alualu. I think you Formerly played for the Jags. Formerly played for the Steelers. Yeah.
I mean, you know your Steelers and you struggling.
Well, Tyson Alualu, I mean, he's like 36 years old. So
Wait, so they like him better than Ndamukong Suh?
apparently.
By the way, they like him better than Broderick Martin.
Apparently.
Well, maybe it's like, in bars, maybe it's a picture of Sue saying, by no means ever let this man back in the building.
I know. No, I know. Listen, okay. 248-539-9797. Go ahead, Rico.